Hey, what's going on, everyone? Mike Sparacino here, as always, joined alongside Brandon Wojno, aka Woj, and Brendan Mulroy. Gentlemen, how are you, sir? How are you, sirs, I should say?
Good. It's fucking Monday. Terrible. Start of the week.
Jesus, Woj. Fucking Debbie Downer over here.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at the bright side. I mean, me and Woj both have unsponsored brews of choice. I got my Pucks and Brews famous Dunkin' Cold Brew. Woj, what do you got for us this episode?
Michelob Ultra.
Nice. Keeping it low on the carbs.
Yeah, it's pomegranate and this word I can't pronounce. Agave.
Well, that's not what you showed us earlier. You showed us something else.
Nah, I don't want it. I already put it back in the fridge. I
Who's
want to
you-
get up and get
That's where you went.
Shades tries to pretend like he isn't drinking the Charlie from Dunkin'.
it. Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, it's iced coffee. Yeah, Shades. We know you got the Charlie.
Dude, this kid's sexist. He just want to buy the Charlie at Dunkin'. What's wrong with you? Support women empowerment, bro. One time Shades.
I don't even know how to respond to that. Talk about
I'm drinking the
rails.
Sonk. I'm drinking the Sonk brew,
The song.
Yeah.
aka no
Can't
brew.
find it. Yeah, can't
Sound.
find it.
I the song brew. You mean almond milk, right?
I'm done.
Well, is it almond milk or not? Be honest with us.
No, I'm not drinking anything.
Wow, you're drinking the air. I like it. Anyway, welcome to Pucks and Brews. What episode are we even at right now? Because I lose count so easily. Welcome to Pucks and Brews, episode 9. As always,
Damn.
we have a favorite drink of your choice, whether it be a brew or coffee. That's when I really should have held this up. Or anything else you like to drink. If it's water, all right. No judging here.
Pussy.
But
All right, first of all, we're 9 episodes in and I'm not getting paid yet. Or none of us are.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, Shades. You really gotta.
This might be our last episode.
you know damn
Money's
well
tight.
it's not gonna be.
Unbelievable.
The only person who's spending money here is me. So if anything, I'm in the hole. You two are just coming along for the free ride.
We're free agents. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally free to hire agents.
We're on a veterans minimum right now. Except that the veterans minimum in podcast world is nothing. So
That shit. Yeah.
it's just try out. It's all good.
Exposure.
We're on a paid tryout right now. Except there's no paying.
Well, Brendan,
fine.
it would help if you had social media a little bit.
That's true.
All right. So anyway, Pucks and Brews, episode 9. Start drinking, people. So, I mean, we might as well just start off with, Buffalo just continues to be a tire fire. I mean, just continues to be a decade-long tire fire. They fire their coach. They trade Eric Staal, former Ranger great. Said no one. But, yeah. What do you guys, do you guys have any thoughts on that?
Shades, what was the details of the trade?
A 2021 third and fifth round pick. Or picks.
2?
2 picks.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, where did he go?
You know what?
Wait, who?
I
Eric
think,
Staal?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What team did he
Montreal.
go? Montreal.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah, I don't know
asking 'cause
how-
I genuinely forgot, so I was literally asking. But
Same.
also, I probably feel like you should probably mention it.
It's kind of like a stolen joke on Twitter, but I don't know how the fuck they're gonna get this helmet into Canada across the border.
That's amazing.
You ever seen it? His helmet's fucking gigantic.
No, I've never seen it.
No, it's fucking terrible.
Well, he probably still uses the helmet from like 2006.
I mean, he actually waived his no trade clause, no move clause, whatever. Like Montreal is one of the 10 teams he does not want to go to, and Buffalo is that fucking shitty. He was like, screw it, just send me wherever, get me the hell away from Buffalo.
I mean, I guess Montreal has a better chance of making the playoffs than Buffalo. So
I think that goes without saying. Yeah.
yeah, I mean-
Montreal almost easily has a playoff spot locked down. I mean, Calgary.
I'm actually kind
Ah.
of surprised that I know they were talking about like Minnesota possibly making a move to get him again. I would have liked to see that.
Yeah, I'm good.
To be honest, I mean, he did have kind of like a fountain of youth dive again when he was there. He was like reached into the fountain of youth when he was there. He had a 40-goal season.
Yeah.
I'm just interested to see how he plays. It's kind of hard to like evaluate anybody's game in Buffalo because they just suck so bad. So
Yeah,
you think he has anything? You think he has anything left in the tank?
Yeah.
To bring? I mean, to them. I mean, obviously he didn't offer much when he came to the Rangers, but
Yeah, I think he'll be all right. He'll be serviceable.
I mean, I think he's 36 or 37 now. I probably say he has a good couple years left in him.
Yeah, at least 2.
Yeah, good depth piece, veteran leader, and plus he has a Stanley Cup. So
That's a good point.
Yeah, general managers and coaches always want that experience in their room.
I also would have liked to see him go back to Carolina. That would have been cool.
Yeah, with the state of their team, though, I don't think Carolina.
Yeah, I don't think they should make any changes there anyway.
Dude, even Taylor Hall was just like, did you guys see the press conference where he was asked, like, would you be willing to accept the trade? And he basically said, he flat out said, yeah, sure.
Honestly, I wonder what he signs for next year, because based off of this year, and obviously he's on the 1-year deal in Buffalo, it's like, what team is going to offer him?
I think minimum $5 million, at least, maybe 6.
Yeah, I wonder if he signs like a long-term deal or he does another like 1-year deal to like erase this year to like build his credibility back up again. Well, not sure what teams.
This is what he gets for signing with the Sabres.
Yeah, I mean, there's talks and everything's just rumors at this point, but you hear some rumors that possibly the Islanders would be interested because of the past with Lou Amarillo and whatever, but I don't know.
Yeah, I was listening. I mean, not for us.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, if I was the Islanders, I wouldn't get Hall. I would honestly try to get Palmieri if possible. I feel like he would fit the Islanders system perfectly.
Yeah, he's more of a two-way player than Hall is.
I mean, either way, I don't really care what the Islanders do, but
I should already title this episode "Cut Each Other Off." We've done it like 17 times already.
It's been worse.
On the old podcast, yeah. This podcast, not. We've actually been pretty good about it.
Hey, listen, dude, it's over Zoom. You know, what are you gonna do?
It's true.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if Hall gets. I think he's still good. It's just when everything is just so fucking shitty. I gotta stop cursing. I sound like a piece of white trash.
Dude, I don't care.
Dude, I said like fucking shitty
curse,
15. So. Yeah, I know, but like, whatever.
It's not like
we know what you meant. We know what you meant.
Yeah, no. So he's still good. It's just when everybody else around you is terrible, and like the whole entire like organization is just like has no clue what they're doing. It's easy for a player to play really bad. So, I mean, he's gonna get out of there. He'll probably put up a few more points than he would with another team other than Buffalo. I actually don't even know how many points he has now.
To be honest, though, what was just to add to that, it's interesting that you would say that about Hall too, because when you kind of think about it, I mean, that year he won the Hart Trophy, he was basically the entire Devils team. Like the numbers with him on the ice and then the numbers without him on the ice was like, it was basically like 2 different Devils teams. So it's interesting that like he was on a team that was so bad, but still played pretty good. He kind of like carried them. It's interesting to see him. It's interesting to see him now kind of in the same position, except that I don't think Jersey was as bad as Buffalo. So you still can't even compare it.
What year did he play on that team? 2017? 2016?
2016-17, I think.
That was a year or two after they went to the finals.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that they just have a better culture too. Buffalo hasn't been good since like the last like 10 years.
Did you just say a year or two after they went to the final?
What year was that? Didn't they
That was 2012.
Oh, 2012. Oh, okay. I was thinking 14 or 15. I don't know why.
Interesting with Hall, though, just to add to that, it's like even when he went to the Devils, like he still struggled in the beginning of him being there. Wasn't like he was good right away.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure there was a whole thing like where he actually got called out in the off season. I think he played like the end of that first year with the Devils, and then he had gotten like called out in the summer, and then he really turned it on. So I don't know. It should be interesting to see if that same thing happens again, but I'm interested to see what teams take a shot on him. You want to move on from the Shades and talk about a Rangers-related trade?
First off, would you guys care to place another wager, even though our second bet hasn't happened yet?
Oh, boy. Save it for the end, Shades.
No, it makes more sense if I do it right now.
All right, so bring it up then.
All right, so I was listening to a clip from TSN's broadcast talking about Hall's trade value, and the question was basically, if he does get traded, will he return a first-round pick? Would you guys care to place a wager on whether or not he will get a first-round pick if he's traded at this year's at or before this year's deadline?
I originally said no, but I think he might. I mean, what did Coleman get? What did they trade for him? Was that a first-round pick?
First-round pick.
Yeah, Blake Coleman.
Something else.
Yeah, Blake Coleman's getting a first-round pick, and he put his third line for Tampa. I think Taylor Hall's going to get a first-round pick from somebody else, but a team that really doesn't need their pick.
Here's the thing.
Honestly, I don't think so.
Tampa also traded a first-rounder for Barclay Goodrow, and Barclay Goodrow is not a player who should have trade value anywhere near a first-round pick. So they were paying to win.
Yeah.
I would say, Shades, just to add on to what you were saying, I think that, like, I in this circumstance, I don't think Taylor Hall would get a first-round pick, only because, you know, this isn't Taylor Hall on a Hart. Like, he's not having the same season he had when he did win the Hart. And, like, his season hasn't been that valuable, so I'm not sure how much value we could add to a team right now. Like, I know obviously his name is a big name, but at this trade, like, I don't know if he could pull a first rounder, dude. Like, I don't know if teams are that desperate to really get him.
So
I could be wrong. I don't think so. In this circumstance, I don't think he's going to get a first round pick.
Woj, what do you think? Yes or no?
Yeah, I think he will. It also, like you said before, it depends on how desperate teams are. Someone might get an injury, and they might need to break the bank on them, but they might need to give up something, you know, like a first round pick or 2 picks to get him.
All right, I'm actually going to side with Brendan on this one. I'm going with no.
And just to add to what you were saying too, Woj, I feel like it really just comes down to how desperate the teams are that are going to make a push for the playoffs. And it's like, if they really think that he could add value to the team, then it's a possibility. I just think about it this way too, is his deal ends this summer too. So, you know, why, unless you're making a run in the playoffs, like, are you willing to really give up a first round pick for a guy that you could possibly sign in the off season? So how much value do you think he can add? So I don't know. It's interesting. But I don't think so at this time.
No, I don't think so either.
But I could be wrong.
He's too streaky of a player. He'll have one good year, and then he'll have one awful year. Then he'll have a decent year. Then he'll have another bad year. Yeah. Like, if I'm a GM, especially with the season he's having, there's no way in hell I'm giving up a first round pick.
Yeah. I mean, there's also, you know, a possibility that he can all of a sudden just turn it on and be a great player. So,
well, it's
so hard to judge though with him playing in Buffalo. So
I would give this year a scratch because of how much of a joke Buffalo is, I think.
For sure.
I wouldn't put this on him.
True, but if he hasn't turned it on in 33 games, which is how many games the Sabres have played thus far, I just can't see it. Look, I know he's a streaky player, but he's shown just absolutely nothing this season, which is why I'm saying no.
And also, Shay, just to add to what you're saying too, you know, even though his contract is only to the end of the season, it might actually be out of a contender's reach to get somebody like Hall based on the salary that he has. Like, they literally might not have enough salary cap just to have him on the team, even though it's to the end of the season. But, you know, if they have to give up depth or they have to give up a player and a pick, then it changes up the whole trade. And yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. But I don't know. I feel like other teams might have the leverage over the Sabres in this situation.
Oh, they absolutely do, especially with the tire fire and being intensified in Buffalo this year of all years.
Before we move on, Buffalo is up 3-0 on Philly.
Ooh.
Wow.
So their losing streak might officially end unless they blow it.
That really
But-
goes to show you how rough Philly's been this year, huh?
Oh yeah.
Well, how rough they've gotten, I should say.
Well,
Jesus.
Taylor Hall has like 16 assists this year. It's not terrible.
No, but I mean, dude, he's a goal scorer.
The whole team is terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Wow, their losing streak might actually end unless they, pull a Buffalo. All right, so Woj says yes. Me and Brendan say no. Are we doing this for the usual amount of $5?
Yeah.
I'm
All right.
down. Whatever, Shades. I'm in.
All right, the third bet of the season is on. All right, so before we move on to the Rangers, I mean, we have to talk about this. The referee, Tim Peel, gets fired for basically having a loud mouth when there's an open mic that night during the game. He basically said, yeah, I was going to call a penalty. I wanted to call a penalty on this team because of so-and-so earlier in the game that got called, yada, yada, yada. He gets fired for that. I mean, anybody who has any ounce of a brain knows that's exactly how the NHL's been calling its games for years. So why does a referee saying it cause that much commotion when we literally already knew that was the case? Which one of you wants to go first here?
Woj, go for it.
Like the last few years that I've noticed, especially on the internet, not a lot of people know about hockey. They're all pretty fucking stupid. So it's literally a makeup call. You miss something, it's like, oh shit, my bad, didn't realize it. And then it's just like how you police the game. It's just how it works. You screw up, okay, I'll keep an eye out. I mean, this is towing the line, but I can call this a penalty. This will make up for the other one from before that I missed. And you try to keep it even. I mean, I don't want to go into another sport here, but it's like basketball. If James Harden has 15 free throws and the other team has maybe 3 all combined, then it's dude, what? There's no way that it's this uneven. That the team's fouling or getting into penalty trouble this much. So it's how do you police the game and how you try to correct it if you screw up, which happens. It's a job.
Yeah, I mean, just to add to what you guys were saying, man, I think you guys summed it up. But I mean, I think anybody that watches sports knows that this is this happens in every sport. It's not just something that happens in hockey. Not that that makes it right. I mean, I get that the league, with it coming out, if they were to not fire this guy, it wouldn't look good from them. So I understand them firing him. But I also, just watching all sports and what you were saying, basketball, it's I feel like this exact thing has happened to the Knicks 100 times this season. So that happens in every sport, and especially football too, I feel like. So I'm not surprised to hear something of this nature. It's just hilarious that it actually happened on a live mic.
And he had a month left. He was gonna retire.
It happened.
It's such a joke.
That's the thing. It's not people are up in arms over it. It's not something that's been specifically to hockey only. I think this is in every single sport. So it's probably more of a problem just with reffing in general. I don't think it's anything specific to just hockey.
I don't think there's been a bigger issue when it comes to calling penalties since the Vegas San Jose game 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Where Logan Couture got hit, goes down, right? I think it was him. Or someone off the face got hit. Oh,
It was Pavelski, yep.
He got hit a weird play, and then that's it. They're on the power play for 4 minutes, and they get 6 goals. Yeah. That's the last time I can remember a penalty causing this much distress.
I mean, hey, dude. I mean, even as of recently, Tanev was assessed a 5-minute major for boarding for hitting Tenorti, and he literally won. It wasn't even a boarding penalty. The guy wasn't even near the boards. He hit him so hard from center ice that he ended up at the boards. It was a 2-minute charging penalty at most, and they still looked at the replay and assessed him a 5-minute major for boarding. So that's why, honestly, part of me is can't stand the instant replay, because I feel all it does is cause more confusion. You would think, okay, you see the replay, okay, now we can make a clear-cut decision on it. I actually feel it ends up causing more confusion amongst the refs. It's I'd rather them almost I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but
yeah, well, I mean, that's video review and all that. That's another discussion, but they definitely need to fix that up in terms of what should and shouldn't be reviewed.
My point
is
what I was bringing up was like it's meant to help the refs, but I almost feel like it ends up just causing more confusion for the refs somehow. Like it doesn't make any sense as to why it does. It's like it's almost like they're doubting their like reffing ability because they're like scared of the backlash that they're gonna face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything you just said.
But anyway, let's move on from the shades.
Yeah, right.
Let's get to the Ranger talk.
Let's finally get to the Ranger talk. So, Brendan Lemieux traded to the Los Angeles Kings for a 2021 4th-round pick. Initial thoughts, surprised. I was just because I just didn't see him getting traded, or to be completely honest, I didn't see anybody getting traded before the expansion draft. 2, I was surprised that him of all people was the sacrificial lamb, when in my personal opinion, I don't think he's the worst forward on the team. I don't think he's the worst forward on the team. And I mean, a 2021 crapshoot draft, more so than usual, 4th-round pick. I mean, similar players of his play style have gone for higher picks. So did you guys think this was a move out of they needed to get rid of somebody to get a guy like Kravtsov to join the lineup soon enough with all the cap implications? Or did you think that they were looking to get rid of him specifically and they had like 4 of those reasons I just mentioned and he was just the sacrificial lamb, like I just said? What do you guys think?
Let's go for it.
No, you go. I went
all
first
right.
last time.
I mean, Shades, I also agree with you in the fact that I was actually surprised to see it. I didn't, like you said, I didn't think he was going to be the one. I didn't think the Rangers were going to make any moves. So I was definitely shocked. I mean, if anything, it's interesting. Like, it's hard to really say whether or not we won the trade or lost it. I mean, it's obviously we lost, him being a physical presence on the ice, and we probably lost some toughness down the lineup now on the 4th line. But I mean, I also think about it this way, he wasn't playing a lot of minutes. And, I don't really like the advanced stats because I think sometimes they get skewed. But I mean, his numbers when it came to the advanced stats weren't that good either. But I mean, like I said, I'm not a big fan of following those, but we all know like what he brought to the lineup and hitting and forechecking. And honestly, I don't think it's a bad move for LA, to be honest. I mean, I don't know if LA is going to make the playoffs this year, being in that division. I mean, they're definitely going to cut it close, but I just think it's funny that a lot of LA fans were like shocked, as it's like, I don't think there's a risk for them at all. I mean, you guys gave up a 4th-round pick for Lemieux. He's going to bring what he's going to bring to the depth of your lineup. I just think if I was the Kings, I would be more mad at the fact that we gave up a 2nd-round pick for Elias Anderson. To be honest, I wouldn't be mad that I wouldn't be mad we traded a 4th-round pick, like you said. I mean, 4th-round picks don't normally become great NHL players. I mean, I did see in like Rick's article on The Athletic that, the Rangers have by chance had some luck, Ryan Callahan and Graves. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I think it benefits the Rangers in a way because now we could bring up a guy like Kravtsov, even though we haven't brought him up yet, which I'm confused about, but we should definitely get into that. But I'll let Woj take over now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the trade personally. I get it. I do think Lemieux is one of the guys that does pull down a lot of penalties. Like he's the one who usually gets tripped up or he gets under someone's skin. That being said, I think they either could have just cut Blackwell's been pretty good this year, but between Blackwell and Phil DiGiuseppe, I don't think either of them have like a future within the next 2 years on the Rangers, unless it's on the 3rd or 4th line. And if one of them starts playing better, they're going to go somewhere else to get more ice time because they'll think they deserve it. I saw something where it's like Rangers can't draft when it comes to before like the 3rd round. Like, we don't necessarily do well with first and second round picks so far. I mean, at least they haven't like gone off. But then I saw it was like, oh, we drafted really well, like past that. Like, right, we got Lundqvist, and like after that is like guys aren't even proven yet. So I don't really know exactly how well the fourth round pick's going to be. Who knows if it even turns into something? But if it brings Kravtsov up or somebody else within the time being, I think it's not a terrible move. But
yeah, just
definitely going to miss him.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of what you said with the draft picks, I mean, the last few years they've actually had some good draft picks within the last within the first 3 rounds, and I mean, Buchnevich was a 3rd rounder from the original Nash trade. I mean, that just proves even more that we won that trade. I mean, there was somebody else that I had in mind, Messier. Like the draft pick he was traded for way back when turned into Ryan Callahan. So like it's literally.
Do you know that?
I saw something a while back.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and I mentioned
that's
the
one
Ryan
of,
Callahan
That's
thing
my
too.
fucking brain and pretzel.
Woj, that's one of those things where like you see it in an article and then it's like one of those like random trivia facts
You
that
just go
stick with you because it's
fucking nuts.
And you go
of how
on Cap
interesting it was.
Friendly. You go on Cap Friendly and look it up. That's the
This
best
kid's
part
done
about
a-
Cap Friendly. You literally can look it up, bro, and they'll tell you the trade history of everything. It's amazing.
Yeah, Cap
Kid's
Friendly's
going
awesome.
down a fucking rabbit hole of trades. Jeez.
I mean, that's all I got for you. So
No, but I was trying to like get off track before, but what I saw on Twitter was like someone mentioned like Morgan Barron and like a few Pajunami, and I was like, all right, they might be good. They still haven't played in the NHL yet. So like with that being said, they're promising, but you don't know exactly how good they're gonna be. But like I'll never get over the Rangers drafting Bobby Sanguinetti over Claude Giroux.
yeah, we don't need to go into that right now.
No, we should.
Yeah,
but
I
we
mean,
won't.
obviously we made some mistakes, and most recently Elias Anderson being one of them as
No,
well.
McElrath,
Yeah, that's
Matt.
true. Let's not even get into it.
That's something we can come back to in a further episode or in a future episode.
But to add what we were saying, though, I think that's ultimately what this trade came down to. I mean, Lemieux's cap hit isn't much, but obviously the Rangers are in such a tight cap situation that this will allow them to most likely bring up 2 players on an entry-level contract. So I'm guessing that's what the move was for. I mean, it's hard to really pinpoint like so many negatives in Lemieux's game where the fact that it would call for like an immediate trade, like, okay, yes, he had like a bad change in the Philly game, which I didn't even fucking realize, to be honest, until somebody else pointed it out. But, but that's silly. But, obviously, he bought a little bit of grit. Obviously, he would throw a body and fight. He didn't have that many fights as of recent, but still, we obviously all know his tilt against Wilson last year. So, I mean, we know what he's capable of doing. So, I don't know. I think it's a good pickup for LA. And worst comes to worst, they could always just dispose him.
Actually, I just looked up Cap Friendly right now, the ever so great website that we were just talking about. His cap hit was $1.55 million. Lemieux was, and pretty much, yeah, he's literally the only contract on the roster between $1 million and Brendan Smith's 4.35. So yeah, he was like cap wise, he was the odd man out, and I'm not including Georgiev's contract in that because Georgiev's is 2.45. 2.425. So yeah, he like from a cap perspective, he really was the odd man out. But the trade, like the timing of the trade was still surprising.
I do want to bring up one thing though, in terms of trades with the Rangers, that we don't have to spend much time on this, but it does kind of aggravate me in a way. And I understand why a team wouldn't trade for DeAngelo, but like there's definitely some teams that need defense in our division, being Philly, one of them being Philly. Like, you're going to honestly tell me that they wouldn't want to take a risk on Tony DeAngelo for throwing us a pick? Like, I know he's had like a bad pass, but like, I don't know. I just find it's just crazy to me that like how good of a season DeAngelo had.
Yeah.
And like now it's just like it still blows my mind this season. Like I still can't believe that we had to sign him in the offseason because of how good he was, and now we can't even trade him for like a fourth round pick or fifth round pick. Like I know we were talking about trades earlier this episode, and that was something I was thinking of. Like I can't believe that we literally cannot trade this guy. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, especially like earlier in the season. Like, yeah, was he playing like crap? Yeah, but literally the entire team was playing like crap the first few weeks of the season.
I really think that we actually screwed ourselves over by saying that Tony DeAngelo would never play another game in a Rangers jersey. I almost wish we didn't say that.
I find it hard to believe that there was no way they're able to keep that story under wraps. Like, it happened in the tunnel or in the locker room. Like, there's a way where someone, I don't know who ratted out the story, but they really should have just kept it under wraps and be like, you know what? He hasn't been that good. No one's really going to notice anything. No GM really gives a shit about a player's politics or whatever. They don't care what they think. They just want him to do well for the team. So I find it really hard how like they weren't able to hide that and just send him out the next day. Just be like, look, it's not working. We're going to trade.
But and to add what you were saying, Wojum, and it's how we were just talking about it before. It's like in this situation, because we announced that Tony DeAngelo was never going to play another game in the Rangers, every team knows that they have so much leverage over the Rangers, because now what are the Rangers going to do? Just sit with his contract? If we don't move him, we're going to end up buying him out. And then that's when the team's going to make a move on him, because now they can sign him at whatever they want to sign him at. I just find it hard to believe that, like, no, I shouldn't say I find it too hard to believe. I mean, obviously we know, with the BS off the ice, but still it's like, I don't know. Like if I was a team that needed a defenseman, I think I would fucking want to trade for Tony DeAngelo when I don't have to give up anything. And his cap hit isn't that bad. Mm-hmm. Just a thought. I was just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I mean, at 50% retained, he's at like just over $2 million. So I'm with you, Brendan. I find it hard to believe that nobody wants him.
I just think now they know, like, oh shit, like the Rangers are going to just buy him out. So why the hell should we give up a pick when we can just sign him once they buy him out? Because I would not be shocked if the Rangers do buy him out and within a short period of time a team signs him.
Oh yeah, it's actually like I'm also surprised that nobody's going to trade for him, because that would actually impact the Rangers more next season cap wise, as opposed to us buying him out. So I'm like, from that perspective, I'm amazed that no team is trading for him.
Yeah,
I just think that he still has enough skill to add to the lineup. I mean, this year, I don't know if you could really count it. I don't know how much he's been skating. I'm sure he's still skating. Like
this year, I'll just chalk it up as a scratch and be like, look, it's a COVID year. He didn't get a great offseason in, and the team played shitty until like the next like third or fourth week. And ever since then, they've been inconsistent. But
I mean, listen, if it was up to me, I'd still play his ass on the Rangers.
Yeah, I don't.
Unpopular opinion, but
he hasn't done anything really that controversial other than tweet since he was in juniors when he was like 17. So who gives like?
Yeah, but I'm not even talking. I'm just talking about besides like all that BS. Like,
yeah,
if we were to just play him the end of the season at this point, I mean, obviously, I don't know, that's not going to happen, but anything we could have done to like build up his trade value at this point would have been a plus. But I just feel like the Rangers just don't want to hear from the fan base about Tony DeAngelo. They're just sick of him, and that's it. Because now you haven't heard anything about him.
Yeah.
See, this is why I follow very few NHL players on social media, because I don't care what you have to say on social media.
Most of them don't even post stuff. I think Tony D is probably one of the only ones that does, for the most part. So,
but anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because it's just funny to me.
Yeah, you guys want to talk about the 3 Ranger games the past week real quick?
Please.
So, yeah, like I just said, after that jump cut, the 3 games, 2 against Philly, 1 being an 8-3 win, the second one being a 2-1 loss, and a 5-4 loss against Washington. I mean, believe it or not, this was a interesting, news-packed, not really 3 games. I just felt like saying that. But, yeah, I felt like even though I only caught 2 minutes of the second Flyers game, I felt like it was just 3 completely different games, which just goes to show what Woj said earlier. It's just like inconsistency since we picked our game up from like the 3rd or 4th week into the season. Brendan, what do you think about these last 3 games? Any particular thoughts?
I mean, I would like to probably talk more about yesterday's game and the first game against Philly. Obviously, the first game against Philly was just complete destruction again. We don't need to really go much too far into it other than the fact that obviously Zibanejad just absolutely destroyed the Flyers. I did see a thing now had me absolutely dying. It was like 5 games against the Flyers this season. He had like 14 points, something like that. And it was like the rest of the games of the season, up until that point, he had like 13 points. The guy literally had more points against the Flyers. But, yeah, I mean, Zibanejad has been on another level the last couple of games. I mean, those are my biggest takeaways. I'm trying to remember. I know the Philly game I had missed like the first period, but I know that I did see the ending. And that was just unfortunate. Just really a lucky deflection in front, right? And I believe Shesty was back for that game, right? Or did he play against?
Yeah, the first game against Philly, he was back. And that, yeah, like you said, Zibanejad, for the second game in a row against the Flyers, a hat trick and 6 points. And Fox had 5 assists. Buchnevich had, I think, 2 goals. Friggin', yeah, that was just a good game to watch. Woj?
Yeah, great game against Philly. And then the second game, Philly, I think someone said that they finally had their first practice within like the last like 2 weeks. So it looks like AV like yelled them and shit, and woke them up, lit a fire under their ass, and they played a lot better the second game. They actually gave us a fight. And then playing against Washington was just like awful, like up until we started putting the puck in the net. But then by then it was too late. I mean, I still stick with the same idea that the team just doesn't like Quinn. There's a picture of Cryer just looking completely distant when like Quinn's yelling at him and like Zibanejad about something. And he's like, dude, just fuck off. He's like, bring Now Black back on the bench and let us win some more games.
Well, wasn't Now Black on the bench?
He was on the
Capitals
bench.
Game.
He was on the bench. Yeah. Just to say, this is like one of those games where I get so confused as a fan because I feel like we have this theory, like the fans this theory with like the Rangers don't respond to Quinn on the bench, but I this is one of those games where like I would argue that because I feel like the Rangers did everything right in those first 2 periods, other than the fact that one, we couldn't hit the net with a shot for shit. Mm-hmm. And we couldn't score on any of our chances. So it's not like we didn't have any chances at all. And even to start off the third period, I mean, Hedl had an unbelievable chance on a 2-on-1. And, we just Miller, same thing on a 2-on-1, just wide open net. And he misses the net. Even to start off the game, Kakko comes in. He has a breakaway. He does like 800 stick handling moves. He doesn't even get a shot off. So it's like, it's not that we're not doing the right things. It's just we cannot score. And I don't blame that on Quinn when the Rangers have plenty of chances to score. Like, I don't think that has anything to do with Quinn. So I would argue that I don't think this loss had anything to do with Quinn either, other than the fact that, like, we just actually started shooting the puck into the net. The chances were there the whole game. We just literally could not hit the net for shit.
Yeah, Woj, before I throw it to you, I read something like that game against the Capitals started like 20 minutes late. Is that true?
Yeah, I was fucking sitting there in my room. I was like, all right, when's this game going to start? It's at 12 o'clock NBC. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm sitting there. I was already through my first 2 beers.
You just finished up that Joel Osteen. You just finished up the Joel.
I turned it on, and I was like, Joel Osteen. I was like,
you got Joel Osteen, got everybody fired up for the game. It's like, dude, what the hell is that? I just feel like NBC always does this, dude. It's like, if you're going to have a pregame for the game, can you just put it in can you just put it in like your programming that you're going to actually have a pregame? It's fine. We don't care. Just like,
let us know.
The game literally did not start, bro, until like 12:30.
Yeah.
It was absolutely
it took a
ridiculous.
full hour for the first period to end. No, but I was watching Joel Osteen.
Jeez.
And I was like, dude, fuck this game. Keep this guy on. I'm getting ready to run through a wall.
I mean, not to use that as an
Rangers.
excuse as like, listen, Washington had to do the same. They had to deal with the same shit.
Yeah.
So that's what it came down for me ultimately. Like, personally, I probably wouldn't have started Kincaid in this one either. I probably would have went with Georgiev, to be honest.
I would have, I'd say, I know Shesterkin was just coming back from the injury. He saved a lot of pucks the night before. I don't know, maybe give Georgiev another shot. I saw today, though, that they mentioned Rangers rolling 3 goalies again. I thought that's the exact same thing we didn't want to do this year is why we got rid of Hank.
To be honest, I think now that Kincaid has kind of had like a stinker of the game, not that necessarily had much to do with him per se, but I feel like maybe this would be it now. Like maybe we will just see a Georgiev and Shesty. Like if Georgiev can play good now, the next start that he has, I think that now we'll just roll with Georgiev and Shesty.
Yeah, well,
I mean, Kincaid had done his job, with obviously with Shesty out, and he played good, and I would say for the majority of those games. But I mean, I would rather see Georgiev in the net than Kincaid, and that's nothing personal against Kincaid. I just feel like Georgiev's our backup.
Yeah, just to touch on that, like Shesterkin was a healthy scratch by design against the game against the Caps because he had just played 2 games in 3 days and he's coming off a groin injury. So like he was a healthy scratch by design. But yeah, I was a little surprised Kincaid got the start too. I would have rolled with Georgiev probably that game as well. And you guys know I've been very critical of Georgiev this season, and I'm saying he probably should have got the start. So that's saying a lot. But pretty much the only bright news in that game, I mean, happy birthday, Colin Blackwell. Scored 2 goals on his birthday. I mean, you can't give yourself a better present. Nobody can really. Shut up, Bush.
Well, a W would have been better. Or a hat trick.
That too.
Yeah, I mean, W, hat trick. I don't know.
And Lafreniere scored again finally, and Kreider got a nice deflection. So I mean, there was definitely some positives to take away from the game and that third period. But holy shit, dude! Like I know, like I missed the first period completely, and I got home and turned the game on with about 7.5 minutes left in the second period, and I'm just like, those 7.5 minutes were basically torture to watch. And I remember I specifically texted you, Brendan, is this how they've looked the whole game so far? After I looked up the shot total, and you were like, yeah. And I'm like, how have you not shut this game off?
Well, I'm not going to lie, and I think even the NBC crew was like surprised. I did not expect the Rangers to have that good of a third period. I was not expecting. I thought it was going to be a complete destruction by the Capitals, but it's like you said. I mean, I think even towards the end of that second period, we didn't have many shots on goal. I think we only had like 7 at one point, and obviously that's not going to get it done. But also to add to what we were saying, like, not that this is an excuse, but Washington probably is the best team over the last 15 games, definitely the last 10 games. Yeah, I think they won like 10 out of 11 games, and the only loss they've had is actually against the Rangers. Yeah. Funny enough.
Actually,
but
I mean,
think they're
obviously
they're on an absolute heater.
Just real quick, I think they won 14 out of 16.
14 out of 16.
Including that game.
So not that that's an excuse, but I'll use it as positivity going forward for the Rangers, as I think that now we can take away anything good we had from that game. And I don't know who we're playing next. Pittsburgh
are playing Washington
tomorrow.
Next. Yeah, Washington again. And then we got 2 games against Buffalo.
So I think that if we have Shesty in net tomorrow, which I'm assuming we will, I really hope that we can bring Kravtsov into the lineup. I just don't understand why. Like, I understand he has to get acclimated to the system and this and that, but it's like, dude, the guy can get acclimated to the system playing NHL games. He just came over from the playoffs. He had to quarantine for a week. It's like, how long are you going to wait to play him, dude? Just play him. Like,
yeah,
I don't get it. Like, now we made this move with Lemieux. In my opinion, he should be playing tomorrow. Like, why the hell is he not playing?
Oh, yeah, I'd like to try. I think that's pretty similar to like how Quinn does everything. And I know I sound like an absolute Quinn hater. I loved him before, like recently this year, but like you notice how Knobloch really didn't change with the lines that much, and I know he was getting like not allegedly, but he was supposedly getting calls from Quinn being told what to do like during the game. But I don't know. I think that's just kind of Quinn's thing. It's like take it slow, ease him into something when it's like he knows hockey. He's not like he didn't go to college. He doesn't have this big brain or whatever like that. He's good at playing hockey. Just throw him in and see what he could do, and I'm pretty sure he'd be able to thrive right away.
You never know with draft picks playing their first games. Like it could go really well or it can go really bad.
Yeah, especially Russian players too. Like
I just think like, dude, it's not like he's gonna be inserted into like the top 6 of the lineup. Like he can play the 4th line minutes now. It's like that could be part of his development. Like I just like at this point in time, like is our 4th line gonna be any worse with him in the lineup? Like I don't think so. Like we can afford to sit Di Giuseppe out or one of those guys for a game.
Yeah.
Even though Di Giuseppe just got back.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we could afford to sit him for a game to have Kravtsov in the lineup. That's just my opinion.
I think even the 3rd line's been terrible. I know Gauthier got the assist on Lafreniere's goal yesterday, but out of the last like 2-3 games they played, the 2 against Philly, to put up like 17 goals and to have only maybe how I don't know if they had an impact on any of them. Maybe an assist or 2. I don't know. I mean, I know they played the big guys a lot. Yeah, they gave them more than minutes, but I mean that 3rd line hasn't been doing well either in those year three young guys that you're looking up to go off right now. It doesn't look that good.
Yeah, just give it time, But yeah, so
you know what we should do? We should just fire Quinn and hire Joel Osteen.
Yeah, exactly. So he could just give speeches in the locker room. Rangers will come out through a wall. We'll score 7 goals to start off the game, and then we'll just give up 14 goals in the 3rd period because the boys were just so fired up.
If they fire Quinn, they better hire Gallant. That's all I'm going to say.
Joel Osteen.
What about if they just promote Knobloch to this head coach role? Or maybe he'll become interim head coach.
Bring back Mike Keenan. There we go.
Oh, God.
We're going to bring back AV, actually.
No,
and Hayes.
Please.
It's going to be a player-coach trade. Tony DeAngelo and Quinn for Kevin Hayes. It's going to be the first time it's ever been done.
Not going to lie, I would welcome Kevin Hayes back on the team right now over.
Damn right.
Yeah, over Howden especially, and probably even Hedel and Strome.
Listen, bro, you want me to manipulate that? I'll go on NHL franchise right now, and I'll make sure we can get a good trade for Kevin Hayes.
Yeah, and you'll also sign like a retired Dan Girardi, Tanner Glass.
That's all. Listen, that's all we know. That's how GM should operate in real life.
You'll trade for Jimmy Vesey.
Obviously, if you want to win a championship, you have to have a Conn Smythe winning Jimmy Vesey. But realistically, we know you have to sign every single free agent in the offseason, and then you trade every single free agent for draft picks. That's how you operate as a GM.
That's how I rebuild every time.
That's what I'm talking about. And then if you really want to rebuild, you just tank the season, get a couple really high-end picks, and that's it. It's really simple. There's not really much it's not much to a rebuild. Just play NHL franchise.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's it. That's all I got to say.
Woj, anything?
Yeah.
All right. So we got Washington in 2 games against Buffalo. So, all right, we already made a bet this episode.
3-0.
So I'm not gonna make another one.
The Rangers are going 3-0 before the next time we record. We're going to wipe the floor of Washington tomorrow, and we're going to destroy Buffalo. I'm telling you right now.
Okay, now I think we're going to go 1-2 because
I'll tell you right now, Shades, I will feel a little more confident in my bet that we made on the last podcast of Kravtsov getting his first point if it's against Buffalo.
Yeah.
Like, I actually hope he doesn't play against Washington. I hope he plays against Buffalo in one of those 2 games.
Yeah, I'm most likely play against Buffalo. Makes sense.
All right, so the bet is still on. The Kravtsov bet is still on from last episode or 2 episodes ago, whenever the hell we made it. And the new bet.
Now we got a new bet with Taylor Hall now.
Yeah.
the new bet with Taylor Hall regarding if he's going to get traded for a first-round pick or not. So, boys, we got a lot of money on the line. So, yeah, basically, I really got nothing else. So, thank you, everyone, for listening or watching. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, by the way, if you're watching. Let your friends know. We'll be back a week from now on April 6th. Tuesday, April 6th will be our next episode. That will be episode, what is this, 9? I literally just
Episode 9.
Yeah.
So we'll be back for episode 10 a week from now. Because that's how the calendar works.
That's how numbers work.
That's how the numbers and calendars.
Yeah, 9 after 10 shades.
9 after 10. Why was 7 scared of 8? Because 8, 9, and 10. All right. Thank you very much. Follow us on all our social medias listed in the description below. And yeah, dude, I swear if we lose both of these games against Buffalo, I honestly might just quit the podcast.
I'm telling you right now, shades. Like I said, Rangers going to win all 3 games. We're gonna beat Washington tomorrow, and then we're gonna beat Buffalo.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all I gotta say. Confident.
Kid's watching too much Joel Osteen. He's filled all his positivity.
I'm fired up.
Hope you enjoyed your unsponsored brews of choice, everyone. See you next episode.